back to our Trends Journal and look at the cover, February 4th. Dot-com bust 2.0. How much is the NASDAQ down today? The NASDAQ was going down before. The markets were weakening before this. The markets have been way overvalued, artificially propped up. Oh, you don't hear from the Magnificent Seven anymore. And tariffs obviously have made a very bad situation worse. So we're going to have a dot-com bust. The markets are crashing in front of everybody's eyes. You saw gold was down almost $70 today, and it bounced back. The reason being is that he didn't put tariffs on gold. And that was one of the fears when all that gold started pouring in to New York from the UK. They were concerned they were going to put tariffs on. Right. By the way, I agree with the tariffs. I mean, I want to make this clear. I'm a political atheist. To me, anybody that says, I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, I'm a Democrat, I'm a liberal, grow up. Could your mind get bigger than a little stupid club that you belong to? I can't stand Trump, what he's doing, the slaughter of the Palestinians in front of everybody's eyes. I hate what he's doing in the bombs away over Yemen. I don't want to hear his crap that Greenland is our country and screw off about the Panama Canal where you robbed the damn joint back in the early 1900s, all right? Can't stand him about that. On the tariffs. Once upon a time, there used to be a thing in America called manufacturing, and we had a middle class. I'm up in Kingston, New York. Oh, Gant shirt factories, Syracuse, China, made in Syracuse, New York. There were factories all over America. That slime ball little piece of scum crap was one of the worst. Every time he got caught with his pants down, bombs away over Baghdad, Bill Clinton, that little bastard gave us NAFTA. Oh, you forgot about that one, everybody, huh? Bring the jobs down to Mexico. You don't need the manufacturing here. Let them go down there so you can get cheap labor so they can make more money. Oh, and they give me the dough. Now I'm a multi-millionaire. Some little piece of scum from Arkansas brought China into the World Trade Organization. Let's go back to the dot-com bust. Before Bill Clinton brought China into the World Trade Organization, 10% of 18-year-olds out of a country of 1.4 billion went to college. Now, almost 70%. Young people are totally AI high-tech addicted. They're not stupid over there. By the way, America's dumbing down in front of our eyes. Oh, it's a freak show. So anyway, now you got all these kids going to school over there, college. Everybody AI and high-tech addicted. That's why China is going to be taking over the AI world, and the dot-com bust is going to happen. Go back to our cover of February 4th. Dot-com bust. Take a look at the Hang Seng Index. It was way down. DeepSeek came in. Oh yeah, we don't need all these big chips. Oh no, all you're investing in these power plants to make big chips, don't need them. Oh, it cost you $100 million to do it. We only did it for $6 million. Oh, and we're the most used AI in the world right now. This is just the beginning. Going back to the tariffs. I agree with tariffs if they have tariffs the way we had them before. Back before World War I, that little slime ball made rotten hell, Woodrow Wilson, who gave us the Federal Reserve, federal income tax, World War I, and the IRS. Before that, we didn't have federal income tax. We had tariffs. McKinley, the president, do you want cheap products or high wages? I want high wages because I could buy other stuff too. I could do other things. I could buy a house, do this, that. Once upon a time, not too long ago, first-time home buyers, 40% of home sales were going to first-time home buyers. Now the number's down to 28%. The people are going broke in this country. So yes, I'm in favor of tariffs. It will take a while, but now here's the downside. Again, we look at things for what they are. You got foreign companies coming in here and opening up the plants. They're not American companies, a lot. So they're going to be making the dough. And the ones that they're opening up, they're not paying high wages so far, like it's someone in North Carolina just recently. So we got to see how this thing is going to play out. There were no Rust Belt cities in this country. The Rust Belt started happening when they allowed manufacturing to go overseas. And again, you got to get this, everybody understand this. I talked about China. You look at China's GDP from 1970 to 2000. Bill Clinton brings them into the World Trade Organization. Poof. You want to do business in China? Yeah, we want all that cheap labor. United States and European manufacturers brought China all the high-tech and heavy industry technology they never had. Oh, you want to open up a plant here? You could do it. You got to become a partner with us. You only can own 49% of the plant. We own 51%. China didn't have what it takes right now. Oh, look at BYD. Oh, Tesla's not doing good. Oh, BYD's doing great. They didn't have all this technology until the European and American manufacturers gave it to them. They sold us out so they can make more money. Oh, and again, when I was a young man, once upon a time, they had things called grocery stores, hardware stores, stationery stores, drug stores, shoe stores. Now they're all chains. They did away with the antitrust laws that made all this happen. Again, that slimeball Bill Clinton, how he sold this country out. Oh, by the way, I used to do gigs for major corporations. I did one with Madeleine Albright, the United States ambassador to the UN. And it was on the QE2. It was for the top marketing executives around the world. She opened the gig up. I'm mentioning Madeleine Albright. You can look this up. She's on 60 Minutes with Leslie Stahl. And Leslie Stahl asks her, is the price of 500,000 Iraqi children that have died because of what Bill Clinton did to Iraq worth the price? And Madeleine Albright said, yes, it's worth the price. This is the Bill Clinton that gave us the Serbian War, the Yugoslav War. Oh, the Glass-Steagall Act. I forgot about that one. Oh, remember when the banksters crashed the markets in 2008? Panic of '08. Hey, I'm Jamie Dimon. I'm Goldman Sachs. $29 trillion, the Federal Reserve, to bail out the banksters. Not my numbers. Bard College, Levy Institute, their numbers. Wow. It's crime syndicate running the countries. Morons and imbeciles call them politicians. And to make it clear, this is the way I feel. All across the world, scumbag they just brought in as the chancellor in waiting over there in Germany, Merz. Hey, where did Merz come from? BlackRock? 3 companies, BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, own 88% of the S&P 500. Now, what's Germany doing? Oh, the high, you love World War I, World War II? $1 trillion to build up defense because we have to fight Russia. And we're going to put some of that money in infrastructure, too. That's the Germany. Look at that little Catson Macron with a pecker, if he has one, this big over there in France, with his little fake hair and his little no cojones, marching in front of the guys. We got to build up the military. Sweden, one country after another, all across Europe. Oh, Germany, 3rd largest economy in the world, in recession, 2 quarters, going into deep debt to build up their military. And all these other countries that are going down, building up their military. When all else fails, they take you to war. And that's what World War III's already begun. It's going to become official when there's a big event, like a Pearl Harbor kind of thing. And these maniacs, as their economies are all crashing, you said what freaks they all are, they're going to take us to war. A little jerk off over there, exit the Secretary of Defense. Hey, look what a tough guy I am. I'm doing push-ups with a backpack on. Goes to Taiwan and says the United States is going to defend them against China. China with the biggest naval base force in the world. The United States hasn't won a war since World War II. Wouldn't have won that one without the Russians. I grew up during the Vietnam War. We only killed 3.5 million people and lost the war. 60,000 American troops, 250,000 seriously wounded. Did a great job in Afghanistan, huh? Longest war in American history. Only cost us a couple of $1 trillion. Oh, how about Iraq? Lost that one too. You're going to beat China and Russia? Grow up, everybody. And that's, by the way, that's what they're doing over in Europe. Everybody get this in your head. Operation Barbarossa, launched by Germany against Russia. They killed over 25 million Russians. Not my words, the words of John F. Kennedy at his speech to graduating students at American University in June of 1963. He goes on to say that we shouldn't hate the people in the Soviet Union. They lost more people in World War II than anybody, and they lost their homes, their factories, their farms, and their land, the equivalent from Chicago to the East Coast. And he said they killed over 20 million of them. They were the first ones to defeat the Germans, all right? You're not going to beat them in a war, and you're not going to beat the Chinese. And I want to make this 100% clear. I launched a movement, Occupy Peace, over a decade ago. Have major rallies from Ralph Nader to Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter, Joe Low, on and on and on and on. So I fight for peace. It's not empty word. And not one penny for peace in the billionaires, the multimillionaires. Nobody talks about peace. Peace is a dirty word. Absolutely. It's the number one safe haven asset. And the Madeleine Albright story I told you, she led it was on the QE too, because I'm going to talk about gold. But just to show you what freaks they are. Her introduction went for about 15 minutes when they introduced her. She looked like the Queen of Tarts in this red thing. Her grandfather was this, her father was that. She grew up in the Czechoslovakia. Her father has this, and her mother was that. And she has honors in this, and honors in that, and honors in this, and honors in that. Went on for like 10, 15 minutes introduction. Arrogant piece of crap. I led the thing the next day. And the guy introduces me. He's Gerald Celente, his book, Trend Tracking, Trends 2000, international bestseller, the magazine, the Trends Journal, blah, 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 blah. I said, thank you very much for that introduction. I got applause. I said, but I felt shortchanged. I said, I heard 15 minutes of Madeleine Albright yesterday. You only gave me a couple of minutes here, introduction. There was a pause and everybody broke out clapping and laughing. And I said, what you also forgot to say is that I graduated PS 76 in the Bronx without honors, I'm just making this clear because it's one big club and you ain't in it, as George Carlin said. And that's all this club is. Now I'm going to go back to gold. I have a photograph of me and John Connolly. John Connolly was the governor of Texas that sat in front of JFK and took the bullet in the back. He wanted to meet me in 1992 when I had this book, Trend Tracking. Because in this book that I wrote in 1989, I had forecast there'd be a new third party. And someone like Ross Perot was the person they were looking for. And by the way, there's never been a better time in America in my lifetime, even back then, for a new third party. But you need the money to make it happen. Anyway, as we're going back into the Anatole Hotel, he said to me, I read your book. He says, it's a fine piece of work, and I know your heart's in the right place. But you don't have a clue what's going on. And neither do the American people, because if they did, there'd be a revolution in this country. He's the John Connolly that was the U.S. Treasury Secretary under Richard Nixon that took us off the gold standard. Do you know why it happened? Vietnam War. Spending all that money to murder people. Fake money. That's what happened. Nobody talks about it. Let's look at the data. 1% own 54% of the equity markets. When you put the 10% in, it's about 92%. The average person doesn't have anything in this. But here's the reality of what happens. When the stock markets crash, when it crashes on Wall Street, Main Street wakes up and realizes how bad it really is and how they're hurting. That's the downside. Not that they're going to be losing money in it. They feel the reality of it. They hide the reality of it with the equity markets going up. So that's the downside of it. Now, we're going to go into, they call it stagflation, stagnant economies and declining economic growth. We call it dragflation, declining growth and rising inflation. Inflation is going to keep going up. I moved to Rhinebeck, which is upstate New York, back in 1979. And now they call it the Hamptons of the North. Chelsea Clinton got married up here. It was nothing when I came up here. And I bought a house on 8.5 acres, across the street, 10 acres, and up the street, 16 acres. You ready? $28,000, 1984. Inflation's knocking us out. You can't retire now on $1 million. Inflation's going to keep going. The rich are going to keep getting richer, and everybody else is getting poorer. Again, the numbers came out. Forbes just did an article this week about the billionaires. They're worth about $16 trillion now. The equity markets had nothing to do with the average person.